Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Retro Entertainment System. This thing is what you should get over the NES Classic. Why, you may ask? Well, I'm going to explain that to you in this video. Now, as you know, the NES Classic, it's kind of a little bit of a controversial item right now. The reason being is because a lot of them, there's not really a whole lot of consoles being made, and people are basically buying them and selling them for outrageous prices on eBay. The term used is called scalpers, if I'm saying that correct. Now, what the NES Classic is basically a refurbished, well, not refurbished. Basically, all it is this type of junk right here, and it's small, and it has 30 games packed in with it. No cartridges necessary, which is nice. It's a good deal, for the $50 it was priced at. But of course, they don't make a lot of them, and it's crazy. It's just a big mess. So this thing is what I recommend if you want to buy an NES, but you don't care about the collectability. All you want to do is just play games. This is the thing I recommend because it works. Yes, you can buy the top loader, but that's going to cost you a hell of a lot more than this. This is a brand new system, guys. This is built in 2016. And guess what? It cost $19.99. $20 for this thing. You get two of these controllers. You get, of course, your system. And then you get a pair of mono cables, and then, of course, your AC adapter. That's great. That is a great deal for being able to play NES games. And the thing is, guys, I need to tell you something. As you can see on that date, I bought Zelda on March 24th, 2010. That was the last time my original NES worked. I put this game in for the first time in 6 years, almost 7. And guess what? It worked on the first try. Not just this game, though. All of my NES games. They all worked on the first try. No problems. Yeah, of course, you might get a little graphical errors. It's typical NES stuff. But this is an NES that works, and it's awesome. Now, of course, it's very, very light. This is a very, very light console. Not a lot to it. Your basic mono and audio. You got your audio video right here, basic yellow and white. And then, of course, you got your power cable. That's it. No expansion module, none of that stuff. Just your basic NES. You got your power, you got your reset button. Both feel fine. You got a nice dust cover here, kind of like on the Genesis. It's great. This thing actually works. And it's a lot of fun. You put the cartridge in and it works. Of course, I'm going to show you some gameplay on it. And then, of course, the controller. It's okay. I'm not really a big fan of this. It's a little on the smaller side. The D-pad is nice. I do like that. The buttons are solid, kind of. But the positioning of the A and B button and then these top two buttons, they're a little off. Which is why I recommend you invest yourself, if you're going to buy this, into an actual NES gamepad. Now these, they don't cost a lot. And I think my favorite feature about this console, or one of my favorite features, is guess what? You can plug these in just like a normal NES. That's right, they have the same exact plug-in. You can play your games on a normal NES pad. It's awesome. You don't have to worry about the small cable, the flimsiness of the controller. This is the original thing, and you're allowed to play on it on a third-party system. This is great. This is really good. I really like this. I haven't not played a single NES game in over 6 years, and I'm finally able to do that now. And I'm loving it. I'm going to show you some gameplay in a minute here, but let's get into kind of the AV cables. It's your basic yellow and white. You got your video, you got your mono audio. That's it. You hook it up, white to white, yellow to yellow. Basic stuff. That's it. It's a nice, not too long of a cable. And you get your power cord, hook it up there. And then you get this little AC adapter. It kind of looks like a cell phone charger, which in some ways it's alright because it's small. You don't have to worry about taking a lot of space like the original brick that the piece of shit NES came with. And I know I sound a little bit mad about the original NES, but I'm going to tell you guys, I've had 3 of these fucking things. None of them worked at all. Yes, they worked. They worked at one time. As you can see, I tried taking it apart. I never really bothered putting it back together the correct way. They're just not built well, to be honest. And which is why the top loader, and then, this new NES Classic I think is so expensive is because you're actually getting something that works and plays original Nintendo games. But with this thing, they're making these cheap and affordable, and you can play actual NES cartridges on it. Now, another thing I like is, guess what? Because this isn't locked in with 30 games, not only do you have an expansive library of hundreds of games, you can also use things like the Zapper with games like Duck Hunt. It's just great. It really is. Of course, let's show you some gameplay of Donkey Kong Jr. on the NES. It's a great looking game, by the way. Now, as you can see, after firing up some Donkey Kong Jr., it actually genuinely works. It comes in crystal clear. Yeah, I mean, a few times you're going to have it where, it glitches up. Your typical NES stuff. Sometimes the graphics are a little bit choppy at first, with the glitches and all that stuff. But it happens. This is typical NES shenanigans, as I call them. But I mean, regardless of that, this copy still works perfectly fine. And it fired up literally on the first try. And that's what's great about this thing. And I mean, it's a great system all in all. Of course, I'll show you some other gameplay. But this is Donkey Kong Jr., which I think is a great port of the game. It looks great. Sounds great. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'm not really the best at this game. But, as you can see, just a little demonstration. It works. It really does. And, I mean, just looking at the system, there's not really much to complain about. There's not really much to break. It's pretty simple. I'm playing with the controller, the original NES pad, of course. And, I mean, it's fun. It's responsive. No really graphical errors or any of that stuff. It all comes in great. Now, of course, one thing I will note is the sound is a little bit off. I'm actually not sure why that is. It sounds a little bit higher pitched for each game I've played so far. And I don't know if that has to do with the fact that the sound is coming in as a, stereo instead of the old RF like my old system did, or if it's just a different sound chip they implemented. But other than that, everything is perfectly fine and perfectly responsible, just like it was on the original NES. And of course, I'm also going to show you some Duck Hunt on the system. Now, unfortunately, because of the fact that this is an LCD screen TV and not, your typical CRT, it's not really going to work out like it would have on a typical CRT TV, simply because LCDs don't have that same light source, as you will. But we're going to try. And, I mean, it comes in crystal clear, though, and the game actually does genuinely work. I'm going to kind of show you. Yeah, it's a TV, guys. But if you do have a CRTV and you are lucky, you are in luck because the controller, the light gun, actually functions. It's responsive, it works just like it would on a regular NES, and that's what's great about this thing. Yep. Too bad. That's what happens when technology changes, I guess. Things differ, and that's why we have sensors now. But yeah, I mean, this is just a little demonstration to show you this thing actually plays basically NES, any NES game. I'm not sure if there's a list of games that won't work with it, but to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure it works with every single one. And, I might demonstrate a few more games, but this is basically the essential idea. The system works, it's great, and I actually really recommend you buy it instead of the NES Classic. If you don't, if you aren't worried about, if you don't care that you want an original NES, if that's not what you want, if you could care less about this as being a collector's item, and you just want to play some NES games, go with the Retro Entertainment System. It really is worth it. You can probably find them on eBay, Amazon, any site that, sells these things. Just look it up. It's called Retro and then Entertainment System. It comes in a box like this, and, they're really cheap. You get 2 controllers, your console, and it's a great deal, I think. And I highly recommend it. I really do. And hope you guys enjoyed this little tidbit video. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holiday you celebrate, and hope you enjoyed this review, and have a good day. See you guys.